Pigeon pose. Inhale, lift the right leg high. Exhale, right knee to right wrist. Lower your shin down. Now, it's not very important for me to get my shin parallel to the front of the mat. Okay, that's a lot less important than finding a squared hips. So think about how you feel in the hip. If you're working really hard to try and get that shin parallel to the top of your mat, it isn't necessary. Okay, but wherever you are, think about flexing your right foot. And now scooch the back toes back in space. And now look over your left shoulder and see that your left leg is completely straight behind you. So we're starting with pigeon. Now, before we move into sleeping pigeon, think about lifting through the heart, pressing the finger pads down into the floor, engaging through the core. Now, what I want you to do is think about lifting the arms. Actually, lift the arms. Don't think about it, do it. Okay, now as you lift the arms, I'm gonna have you take the fingertips down and lean forward. You're gonna feel a nice stretch in this outer hip. As you lean forward, firm through the core, but push your shin and your knee down into the floor. You'll feel more engagement in this outer hip. Inhale the arms up. Exhale one more time. Inhale, arms up. This time, lead with the fingertips, fold forward. Okay, now you're welcome to hang out in pigeon if it's something that you love to do. Just think about this right hip starting to draw back, and you can use your hand to encourage that rotation in the thigh. Okay, if you haven't had enough of binds and you'd like to continue binding, I'm going to offer up a bind here. Okay, so you're going to be taking the right arm, reaching it behind you and grabbing for your right big toe. Okay, and this is your bind. Okay, if that feels like it's too much, don't worry about the bind. Maybe take your hand behind you or just stay in sleeping pigeon, folded forward. And the idea of the bind here is that you've got your big toe with your peace fingers and thumb, and you're working to twist your body. So you're twisting, spreading through the collarbones, creating this space across the chest. Press down into the bottom elbow. Breathe, see what you can soften in the hips. One more breath here. Release the bind if you took it. If you're in sleeping pigeon, inhale, come up. Plant your hands, tuck the back toes, kick the right leg back as you breathe out, opening through the hip, letting that blood flow. Place your right foot flat or down, downward facing dog. Inhale, left leg up. Exhale, left knee to left wrist. Take your shin down to the floor. Start to inch the back leg back and untuck the back toes. Gaze over your right shoulder and ensure that the right leg is straight behind you. So you may need to maneuver a little bit here. This side is my tighter side, so I tend to kind of stay lifted off the floor. And if you're feeling that at all, you can always take a block or a blanket and place it underneath your hip for support. So that way that you're not just hanging out in the joint. Okay, we're gonna do the same thing on this side. What we're trying to do first is square the hips. So this right hip, we wanna square it forward. This left hip, we wanna square it back. Now, to start, prop yourself up on your finger pads, lift the heart. Inhale, arms come up. Exhale, lean forward, press your shin, press your knee, press your leg down into the floor. Finger pads press down. Inhale, come up. Exhale, lean. Inhale, come up. Exhale, walk your hands forward, come into your sleeping pigeon, or go for the bind. If you're going for the bind, it's gonna help you square your hips a little bit. You're gonna take your right arm to face in, reach with the left arm around yourself. I have a tech pack, so it's not as easy. And grab for your big toe with your peace fingers. Okay, now wherever you are, start to think about scissoring the thighs together, that movement that we know so well. And then push down into that bottom elbow, root down through the elbow, lift through the heart. Inhale here. Exhale, twist yourself towards the sky. One more inch. If you're in sleeping pigeon, see where you can soften in the hips. Release. the bind if you took it. Bring your hands back to center. Tuck the back toes, lift the back leg. Inhale, kick your left leg up and back. Exhale, open your hip, let that blood flow. When you're ready, we'll come all the way down now.